Hi everyone, Mrs. Venti here. In today's video, we are still looking at exponents. We are going to do exercise 1, which is revision of grade 10 exponents. Now, in order to complete exercise 1, you need to have done example 1 and example 2. We are still using the laws of exponents. And in example 2, if you remember correctly, we learned that we always need to take everything to prime basis in order to work it out. So just bear that in mind as we go through this. These are the exercises for today. You can pause, try them out, and then come back to the video and see how well you did. All right, let's get started. Question 1a says 5a to the power of 0 plus bracket 5a to the power of 0 in brackets. All right, these two are not the same because of the brackets. According to this one, only this a is to the power of 0, and the second term, all of it inside the bracket is to the power of 0. We know the rule for a 0 power means it is equal to 1. So this is going to become 5 times, let's use color for this, 5 times 1. So this a to the power of 0 becomes 1, plus, and we said that the whole bracket to the power of 0 is 1. That means I've got 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1, which gives me an answer of 6. Question B is negative 2x cubed y squared to the power of 3 in brackets. All right. Beodma says work in the bracket first. In the bracket, everything is as simple as it can get. There are 4 items. You have the sign, the coefficient, the x variable, and the y variable. They're all as simple as it can get. There's nothing I can do there. So I am going to work with this external exponent here. This exponent applies to everything inside of the bracket. So this means I'm going to have minus to the power of 3. An odd number of negative signs is negative. So I have, remember I said it's 1, 2, 3 minus signs. So technically, we have got a negative sign over here. 2 to the power of 3, x, 3. Now remember, if you raise a power to a power, we multiply, and y, 2 times 3. So this becomes negative. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. X, 3 times 3 is 27. Am I right? No. 3, 6, 9. Sorry, 9. not to the power, but multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. Y, 2 times 3 is 6. And that is your answer. All your exponents are positive. That is your final answer. Let's do question C. Question C says 3 cubed exponent 2 multiplied by 3 squared. Okay, again, the difference here is the brackets. So in the brackets, I can't do anything. I'm going to work with this exponent first and everything inside of the bracket. So that means I have 3 exponent 3 times 2 multiplied by 3 to the power of 2, which gives me 3 exponent 6 times 3 exponent 2, which then becomes 3, 6 plus 2, which is 3 to the power of 8. So that is my final answer, but I can then further put this in the calculator and say 3 exponent 8, which gives me an answer of 6,561. This is the only part where I use a calculator. Please bear that in mind. All right, let's do question D. Question D says, okay, so here we're going to have a fraction. Okay, let's do D here. Okay. 2x squared y times 4x 4y3 over 6x6y6. So what you notice is that we're not dealing with prime numbers at this moment. A, B, C were all in prime numbers. Here we don't have prime numbers, so we are going to convert to prime numbers. So let's start with this 2. 2 is already a prime number. So our first set of digits, we're going to keep the same. X squared y multiplied by the 4 becomes 2 squared. X 4y 3 over the 6 becomes 2 times 3, x 6 y 6. So we've got prime numbers. Then we are going to take this further, and this is now going to become, let's see here. I'm going to group things together, right? So let's start with the 2's. Okay, so I'm working with my 2's. This becomes 2, 1 plus 2. Then we can work with the x's. X 2 plus 4, that 4. And the y can then be y 1 plus 3, that one there. And we'll put all of those over 2 times 3. Let's keep the 3 in pink. X is x6, y6. Okay, so that's simple. Now I'm going to simplify, and I'm going to say this becomes 2 to the power of 3 x6 y4 over 2 times 3 x6 y6. All right. Now I'm going to write everything not as a fraction but as a straight line. So, or yeah, I don't know if you know how to do this. I could cancel. I don't know if you know how to do this. Let's just write it out. Okay, so this becomes 2. 3 minus 1. Remember, the fraction means I'm going to subtract. So it's 3 minus that one multiplied by 3 to the power of minus 1. That's this 1 over there. X 6 minus, which is our fraction line, 6. Y 4 minus 6. That becomes 2 minus 3. 3 minus 2 is 2 times 3 minus 1. X 6 minus 6 is 0. Y 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Okay. So now I'm going to multiply that out. This becomes 2 to the power of 2 is 4. 3 to the power of negative 1. I'm going to put that as a denominator. 3 to the power of 1. So I've got 4 over 3. X to the power of 0 is 1. So since this is actually 1, I'm not going to write it. And then y to the power of minus 2. Minus means denominator. Y squared. And that is your final answer. 4 over 3y squared. Okay. Look at the steps. I hope that made sense. Let's do question E. So E is negative 12 x cubed over 15y negative 2 to the power of 2. Okay. In the brackets, there's nothing I can do. So we're going to start with our exponent here on the outside. So that means everything inside is squared. Minus squared is plus 12 squared x 3 times 2 over 15 squared. Oh, I could have simplified. Hold on. We could have simplified. Let's do that first. Okay, so instead of, we can actually work in the bracket. So 12 and 15 have got 3 in common. I can divide 12 by 3, and I can divide 15 by 3. 12 divided by 3 becomes 4. 15 divided by 3 becomes 5. Okay, now I'm going to work on this exponent. and I would say plus 4 squared x 3 times 2 over 5 squared y minus 2 times 2. Okay, so this then becomes 4 squared is 16 x 6 over 25 y minus 4. I can technically, I'm not done yet because of this minus sign. I don't want a negative exponent. Negative exponents means go home. So this whole portion here must go to the other side, which means that I have got 16x 6 y 4. Notice now it's positive, not negative, over 25. And that is your final answer. That's E. Let's do F. F is 10y4 over 4y6 in brackets minus 2. So this then becomes, now, I wanna explain something to you, but I don't want to confuse you. Let me do this the regular way, and then, or the way I've been teaching you, and then I'm gonna do it a different way just to show you something, and I hope I don't confuse you. Okay, so let's start by in the brackets. What are we gonna do? We're gonna cancel. These two are all divisible by 2, so 10 divided by 2 is 5, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, and then we are gonna say 5 to the power of minus 2 y 4 times minus 2 over 2 to the power of minus 2 y 6 times minus 2. That means everything has got a negative exponent. I'm going to swap everything out. This becomes 2 to the power of 2 y 6 times 2 is 12 over 5 to the power of 2 y 4 times 2 is 8, so it becomes 4y12 over 25y8. Now I need to subtract, and I'm going to say 4 over 25. 12 minus 8 is 4. y4 on the top, and that's my final answer. This is how I've been teaching you all along. Now I know that we really we got a huge gap when it comes to fractions, but I just want to show you something. Let's use another color pen. This fraction is also equal to 10 1 2 3 4 over 4 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, this is the same as 10y4 over 4y6. So what we could also do is, when we simplify in the bracket, we can say 5 over 2, 5 over 2, and then we can cancel the y's. We can take 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Or can take 4 away here, and this 6 minus 4 becomes 2. Can you see there's 2 remaining here? Which means that this becomes, okay, so negative 2 is the external exponent. We keep that. This becomes 5 minus 2. The y's are gone, right? This ends up being y0. So I can write it out. I can say y0 times minus 2. Or I don't have to write it, because anything times, it's gone. It's gone. There's nothing there. Okay? Over 2 to the power of minus 2. And I've got y squared at the bottom. These two that are there. Times minus 2, that one. So now I've got, I can swap it around. I can say 2 to the power of 2y. 2 times 2 is 4 over 5 to the power of 2. And there's no y's here. And that becomes 4y4 over 25. So this method of canceling inside the bracket, it's good because it simplifies your number. When it comes to fractions, we cancel in order to work with small numbers. That's why we cancel. But I know that you guys don't have the experience canceling. So if you don't cancel, it's okay as long as you do everything correct. But do try really, really hard to look at the canceling method, okay? All right, let's do the next question, which is going to be question G. Question G says negative 3a squared b4 bracket squared over 3 bracket a squared b bracket cubed. Okay, so inside the brackets, what can we do? Now, I'm not going to cancel because this is outside my bracket and this is cubed and that is squared. So I'm not going to cancel there, okay? The reason why I could cancel here was because everything was in one bracket. But these are two separate brackets, so I cannot cancel in the brackets. Important to note. Okay, so we're going to work on these exponents. And we're going to say, okay, 2 squared plus minus squared is plus. 3 squared a 2 times 2 b 4 times 2 over. That 3 stays on the outside. It's untouched. It's outside of this bracket. It is not cubed. A 2 times 3, B 1 times 3. If there's nothing written, it's to the power of 1. If it's to the power of 0, it will say to the power of 0. Okay, so that becomes 3 squared. Now. Okay, option. I can square that 3 and I can say 3 squared. Or I can quickly remind you that we said that 3 squared is actually equal to 3 times 3, right? 3 times 3. And I can cancel this 3 with that 3. Then I have 3 to the power of 1 on the numerator. But let's not do that. Let's stick to what we're doing. I have 3 squared a4 b8 over 3 a6 b3, which gives me a base of 3, 2 minus 1, because this division line means I subtract according to the laws of exponents. 2 minus 1, a 4 minus 6, b 8 minus 3. That becomes 3 to the power of 1. I'm not going to write anything there. A minus 2, b 5, which becomes 3b5 over a squared. That's my final answer. Question H. Three x cubed times 3x cubed squared plus 3x cubed plus 3x cubed squared. Okay, what's different between these two terms? Okay, so we have two terms on the board, and the difference here is that this one is multiplication and this one is addition, and the rules are different whether you're multiplying or whether you are adding. So B odd mass, we're working inside the bracket first. Inside our first bracket, can we multiply those two? Yes, we can. So I'm keeping my bracket. 3 times 3 is 9. X, 3 plus 3 is 6. Close bracket. On the right hand side, I'm going to say 3x cubed plus 3x cubed is going to be 6x cubed. And I keep my squares outside of the brackets. That is how we multiply versus how we add. You need to know the difference. Our next step is going to be the exponents. So now we're going to square everything. And I'm going to say 9 squared x 6 times 2 plus 6 squared x 3 times 2. Okay, so that is 81 x to the power of 12 plus 36 x to the power of 6. And that is your final answer, because I cannot add these terms. x12 and x6 are not the same thing. They are not like terms. That's it. That's question H. And then question I is the last one in exercise 1.1. I says x plus y over x minus 1 plus y minus 1. Now what do we do? This one is a good question, right? Because I've got negative exponents. Hang on one sec.